Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another episode of Guitar Talk with Todd here at Todd Beebe Music. Please hit that subscribe button in the lower right hand corner. I appreciate you guys checking in, and I appreciate subscribing to the channel, so thank you so much. Today I want to talk about guitar strings a little bit. A lot of you have written in asking what I've been using and to kind of talk about them a little bit more, so I figured I'd do a whole episode on this, just kind of talking about it. It's not really an episode so much of what to use, just kind of what I use, my opinion only. So many things, especially in the guitar world, are subjective. It always kind of bothers me when you watch a video and somebody says, you must use these, you must. I mean, I'm going to tell you to try them, but, you know, it's all subjective. Picks, strings, it always kind of cracks me up. Effects, pedals, whatever, when people will say, this is the thing, or even right down to tone. What is tone? You know, I mean, it's some real shrill, ear-piercing thing that bothers somebody might be the most pleasing sound in the world to another player. And a nice, creamy Stevie Ray Vaughan, big tone. You know, I love that, and a lot of other players do too, but that might be terrible to somebody else. So it's all subjective. You can't really say this is the way it is. The guitar world, more than anything else, I think, it's really, you know, kind of up to you. So anyway, these are just what I'm using, and I kind of want to talk about them all a little bit. Let's start out with acoustic. These right here, EJ11 Daddarios, I used for years, 80/20 bronze. I also did the phosphor bronze ones that they put out on Daddario. Oh, my bad, it's actually Daddario. I know I dealt with the company, which is fantastic, a couple times, and when they answer the phone, or I actually ask them, it's Daddario, not Daddario, but we all say it that way. I just said it now, and I'm just going to leave it in there because a lot of you know what that is. But Daddario. So EJ11, these are the 80/20 bronze. I've used these for years. And then I want to say in 2014, or maybe I'm going to say 2015, they came out with these, which are the Daddario nickel bronze acoustic strings. I have been solely using these ever since then. I just hear such a night and day difference. That being said, this is being recorded or being filmed in 2022. The price on these EJ11 from Daddario right now, these retail for $6.99 for a pack. These nickel bronze from Daddario retail for $11.99. So you can kind of see right there, there's quite a bit of difference in price, a few dollars more. Not a big difference, but it is a difference. So what I have been doing, and please, you guys comment. That's what this video is for. Let me know. Post your comments down below. Let me know what you're using. If you hate something, if you like something, that's what it's all about. So please, 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 please comment. This is what this video is for. I have always noticed the worst thing for guitar strings is humidity. Whenever I play a show, which I've been doing a lot lately, in the humidity, because it's July right now, 2022. Last weekend I played a show outdoors and it was 95% humidity. And it's just brutal. Sometimes the end of the night, I'm literally wiping down my equipment. It's got water all over it. It looks like somebody just blasted it with a hose. Not really too much you could do about that. Having a fan going at the gig helps to keep the air circulating. If you can get under anything like a tent, that helps. This particular gig I could not. I was in a situation where I just had to play right there for the people, and it happens. You know, years ago I tried to figure out a way around it, and there is none besides staying home. So if you're going to go play the gig, you just have to deal with it. What I do is I'll pack everything up, dry it off the best I can, get home super fast and I get everything out, which I know is a total pain, but blast it with fans and just leave it going all night so it dries everything out. But that being said, I have found that humidity is the biggest killer of guitar strings. Sometimes, like the gig I'm talking about last weekend, I'll get done, I'll wipe the guitar down really well. The next day, you'll look at it and the strings are black from the sweat, and you know, that all depends too. Everybody's got different levels of salt in their sweat and whatever, but so it all, you know, varies from person to person. But for me, I know it just kills the strings, so I usually have to change them quite a bit. And where I'm going with this is, if I know I have a lot of outdoor gigs in a row coming up that are real humid, I will still tend to go with the EJ11 because they're cheaper. They're $6.99 a pack, and if I know I'm just going to put them on and the very next day I have another gig, I'm going to just rip them off and put a new set on again. I just cannot see going through $11.99 a pack sets every day. It's just, is there a tone difference and a feel difference to me? Absolutely. Is it that big of a difference? No, I use these for years and I still swear by them. They're fantastic acoustic guitar strings from Daddario, but they came out with these nickel bronze, and they're phosphor, they're bronze strings, but they're coated with nickel, which I believe is a first for a guitar string company to do with acoustic guitar strings. And I also believe that Daddario has a patent on these. In fact, I know they do because I'm looking at it right now. U.S. patent number. So they really broke ground when they made these strings. Like I say, I want to say they came out in 2015, and I was lucky enough to be one of the testers on them. I was sent a pack to test them out, and I just was like, whoa. I mean, the minute you put them on, your acoustic guitar just boom. The life did that nickel coating over the top of the bronze, which, like I said, has never been done by another guitar company on acoustic guitar strings. It just projects like no other string, blows everything else out of the water. Again, just my opinion. And the longevity of them, these tend to hold up, at least for me, a lot longer. For acoustic guitar, I use 12 to 53. So the actual gauges on these are 12 for the high E, 16 for the second string, 24 for the third, 32 for the fourth, 42 for the fifth, and then 53 for the low E, the sixth string. And that's what I swear by, and if I can use these, I will. But like I said, if I have multiple gigs coming up in a row, and I have to change my strings almost every day because the humidity's killing them off, I'll still go with the EJ11, which I think are fantastic. And, that's something to think about, too. If you're on a budget, go with these, because they're still Daddario, just fantastic strings, both of these. Definitely giving the nod to these. These are, hands down, in my opinion, the best acoustic guitar string, I'm going to say, ever made, but certainly on the market right now in 2022. But I love these as well. There's a lot of different things out there. Again, you guys please comment. I know for years I used Martin SP, which are good. Ernieball, obviously, is fantastic. There's always a big difference between electric and acoustic. For me, it's always been Daddario and Martin, pretty much, that I always use as far as acoustic guitar strings go. Those were like the big two. And years ago, I kind of just got away entirely from Martin. I'll still use them if, I have to have strings and I can't get anything else, and Martin is the only thing I'll find, then absolutely I'll use them. I mean, truth be told, there's not really anything bad on the market. I've played guitar for a long, long time, and I've tried everything and anything under the sun out there in the string world, and I honestly can't say I've ever played anything that was junk. That term gets thrown around a lot of, these are junk. Nothing is really junk, in my opinion. It's just, again, subjective. You either like it or you don't like it. For me, I guess if there's one string I didn't like at all, just feel-wise, it would be Elixir strings. They're fantastic strings. They're very well made. They hold up longer. I don't like that. I can feel that coating or whatever it is. I know people tell me I'm nuts, but I can. I just, you know, I can feel that when I'm playing, and I just don't like it. That being said, are they junk? Absolutely not. Elixirs are fantastic guitar strings. Again, it's subjective. I just don't care for them. I know when I tested these out, the nickel bronze from Daddario, that was something they kind of were aiming at, is longevity. You know, these will hold up. I don't think anything holds up quite as long as Elixirs because they have the coating on them, but that's their big thing. These are uncoated, but they still have a longer life to them, and from what I could tell, they absolutely do, because I've tested them out against a lot of other things. Okay, so we might come back to those in a second. Talking about electric guitar strings. For years, I used, and it's the same deal, I'm going to put these down for a second, the EXL 120, which I still use. This is a bulk pack, which, you know, has the strings, the ball ends here, and you pull them out, and they're wound in here. 25 sets. These are the 9 gauge strings. The diameters on these are 9 for the high E, 11 for the second, 16 for the third, 24 for the fourth, 32 for the fifth, and 42 for the top string. I do not have a single pack of these right now because I use these a lot. And the reason why is exactly what I was just talking about with Humidity. If you're going to ask me what electric guitar string I want on my guitar right now, and the finest one being made right now, I'm going to tell you it is these, the Daddario New York XL. Same diameter that I just gave you. I'm doing 9, 11, 16, 24, 32, 42. Ed King from Lynyrd Skynyrd, who we lost in 2018. I was lucky enough to have a relationship with Ed, and him and I would talk and email back and forth, and he used the Daddario EXL 120s for years, and then one day I got an email from him, and we were always talking about strings and stuff, and we had just talked about them, and he emailed me and said, you know, Todd, I'm still using Daddarios, but you've got to try these. They have a way better feel to them, and they hold up a lot longer. And I totally agree. I tried them, and I was just blown away. The first time I tried them was at a live gig, and I noticed right away they just held up. I wasn't breaking strings, no problems at all. So these are kind of like Daddario's electric guitar answer to what the nickel bronze are in acoustic. So these are my big two right here. In my opinion, best electric guitar string on the market, Daddario New York XL. Best acoustic guitar string on the market, Daddario nickel bronze. It's kind of weird. For years I used 10 gauge, going back to electric for a minute. Ernieball super slinkies in the pink package. I still grab those. Again, if I can't find the Daddario strings, I've always had the best luck with Ernieball strings. They're fantastic too. I love them. GHS boomers are also, well, again, go ahead and comment. Let me know what you're using. Blue steel, I've tried them all. And again, there's not really any junk out there, but I've just kind of concluded by recommendation of the great Ed King to try these Daddario New York XLs. Ed was using the 10 gauge strings. I used to use 10s on all my electrics. The last quite a few years now, I have gone back to 9s. It's really funny. Years back, 9 gauge was like the standard, and then when all the drop D tuning stuff started happening, I noticed, you know, heavier gauge strings came out so everybody could get that low bottom end, and that kind of brought the rest of the string world up, and everybody kind of went with 10s or even 11s. We've all heard the famous story about, you know, Billy Gibbons being backstage with Beebe King. Beebe was playing his guitar and said, "Why are you fighting this so much?" And he said, "Because I'm trying to get the tone that you have." And Beebe was like, "Well, I use an 8." So his high E string was an 8. I know in later years it was not, because I was around Beebe quite a bit, and he, 9s he would use. He wouldn't always use an 8 in the later years of life, but at one time he did, and I know he wasn't afraid to. So, again, there you go. But what I'm getting at here is the tone thing. I think Stevie Ray Vaughan contributed to the big string, big tone theory, and that worked for Stevie. He had a fantastic tone, but listen to Albert King, listen to B.B. King, listen to Billy Gibbons, fantastic tone, and they're using super light strings. So again, I think it all comes out of the fingers. I know guys like Jeff Beck, sometimes he uses 11s. I've heard, like when he starts the tour, he'll use like 9s, and by the end of the tour, when his fingers are just rip-roaring strong from playing so much, he'll up the gauge to 10 or even 11, so it kind of fluctuates. I tend to do that too. I fluctuate a lot for quite a while now, though. I have stayed with 9 to 42 on electric. And it's weird because you would think on acoustic, most people that favor 9s would go for more like an 11 or something like that. I tend to like the 12s on acoustic, which I've done for a long, long, long time. I don't think I've ever fluctuated on my acoustic guitar strings. To me, they just, you need that. You need that projection on an acoustic, because when you're strumming it, especially if you're not running through a PA or anything, there's just nothing there. The thicker the string, you're getting that boom, whereas with electric strings, if you can't hear them very well, turn the amp up. It's just a whole different animal you're dealing with. But it is kind of weird. You would think I would go more for 11s on acoustic, since I'm favoring 9s these days on electric, but I don't. But anyways, going back to the electrics for a minute, these retail for, I believe it's $12.99 a pack. And I'm talking about the New York XL and the EXL 120s, which are, this is a bulk pack, not a single pack, obviously. But if you get a single pack of these, they're retailing right now in 2022 for $5.99. So $5.99 versus $12.99, that's double and then some of what, a pack of strings. Is it worth it? I think so, because they hold up a lot longer, and I just think they're better. They did something with the steel on these, the coating and all that, and to be honest with you, I'm not 100% sure what they did, but the formula at the end of the day is a little bit different on the New York XL than it is on the EXL 120. They hold up way longer, and they just have a little bit brighter of a tone, I think. Is it that much difference to pay more than double? If you can afford it, yeah. If you're on a budget, no. And again, back to the humidity thing, if I have to do a bunch of shows in a row and every night I'm changing my strings because I know the humidity kills them and I'm going to need a new set on every day, I'm just going to go with the old EXL 120. I do a ton of setups for people, and a lot of them tend to want these. That's another reason I buy the bulk pack. It's just easier to have them. Pull them out. You get 25 sets in one container like this. It's just easier to deal with. And like I said, especially in the summertime gigging, I use a ton of these versus the New York XL for double the price. It's just something to think about. It sounds weird, but as long as we're talking about strings, I'm going to get into this a little bit. When I'm using a pick, I use a real thick pick, Fender Extra Heavies, actually, and I can see on the corner of it that it's getting shredded up from playing. If I put a brand new set of these on, it's shredding up in no time. These, it shreds up, but not as quick. I've even looked at little things like that. So there is definitely something different about the formula on the steel they do with these that causes it to last longer and whatnot. But again, it's not a coated string like Elixirs or anything like that. So I don't feel that. And I just love these. Those are my two strings, once again, acoustic and electric, if I had to pick. But I do tend to use these probably more because budget-wise, this is the way to go, and this is the way to go. All daddario. I love daddario, like we were talking about earlier, however you want to say it, although it is pronounced daddario. But like I said, ernieball is a fantastic company. GHS is a fantastic company. Deanmarkley is a fantastic company. I've used all of them through the years and never had any bad luck with any of Martin acoustic guitar strings. I've loved Gibson strings, are fantastic. So, go ahead and comment, you guys. Let me know what you think. One more thing real quick about acoustic guitar strings. Again, it's all subjective. Like I was saying, I tend to use 9 to 42 on electric, 12 to 53 on acoustic, which is quite a difference. The late, great Ronnie Montrose told me one time he uses the same gauge on his acoustic that he does on his electric, which I don't think I ever met any other player that did that, but I love Ronnie, miss him, and he really thought that meant, you played, everybody's always like, oh, my guitar plays so different, the acoustic's harder. His solution to that was use the same gauge string on both, and he said it didn't play any different that way. And it's like, it kind of makes sense if you think about it. I don't know why more of us haven't tried that out. Again, it's all subjective. For me personally, I have never thought on acoustic that a lighter string really worked very well. The minute I go below, for me, when I go below 11, it's just, there's nothing there. 10s, forget it. I can't. But that's just me. It's subjective. I like a thicker string on my acoustic guitars. Okay, one more thing I want to talk about. 12-string guitars, which obviously are totally different. I tend to use these EXL 150s, again from Daddario. I'm not a huge 12-string player. Not really something I have to worry about very much, but basically we have 10 through 46 with all the other gauges going on in between that make it a 12, and they're all listed on there. But EXL 150 from Daddario, check those out. As far as electric 12-string guitar goes, that would be my recommendation for 12-string guitar. But again, I'm not a huge 12-string player, but when it does come up, that's what I tend to use. I'm a huge Daddario guy these days. I have to deal with the company quite often, and they're just fantastic, family owned. I've ran into them numerous times at, NAMM shows and stuff through the years, dealing with them, and they're just, the whole Daddario family's in the room, and it's just an awesome company, all made right here in America, in New York, and they're just really great. Let me know what you guys think of Daddario if you've dealt with them, and let me know what you guys use, what gauges you use, if you've noticed the difference between light and heavy with your tone or playing. Daddario, do you love them? Do you not love them? What's your favorite? ernieball? Chime in. That's why I made this video today. It's not really a video of what you should be using. This is what I use, but again, it's all subjective. So I kind of want to get some comments going down below in this video and see what you guys have to say. Chime in and let me know, because I want to know what you guys think and what you are using right now, and what's going on out there in the world of strings. We've never really talked about it too much on this show yet, and a lot of you have written in and asked me what I'm using, so that's why I wanted to do this video today. So thanks again, you guys, for checking in. Please hit that subscribe button in the lower right hand corner. Like, comment, share, all the great stuff. Find us on Facebook at Todd Beebe Music as well. And we will see you guys soon. Thanks again for checking in today. Stay safe and love your dogs. Take care.